we had a very interesting conversation with the management of Tata Technologies, and we spoke to Warren Harris, the CEO and the MD of the company, about a new acquisition that they've done of 75 million euros. He spoke about what this acquisition could mean for the company. Didn't mention that this will be EPS accretive from day one, so that's going to be a positive. But let's go across to him and listen what he had to say, because this will give the company access to a newer technology as well. Listen in. Let me first start off with this acquisition. It's coming at a key time as well, given the industry parameters as well. Talk us through the rationale of acquiring ES-Tec in this particular time frame.
Well, we're really excited about the acquisition of ES-Tec. ES-Tec is a company that's based in Germany. It's about 300 people, about $40 million in revenue, margins of 28-29%. So for Tata Technologies, this acquisition is going to be accretive from day one, both in terms of margin and in terms of EPS. It's a company that is focused upon the SDV space. It has tremendous depth in terms of ADAS and comfort electronics, and it's a great complement to the software capabilities that we've been building in India. You may remember that last year we announced the joint venture with BMW. And so this acquisition not only provides us with a nexus in Germany, but it also provides us with a platform from which we can support companies like BMW, VW, and Mercedes. So we think both from a market access perspective and also in terms of capability, strategically, this is really going to accelerate the progress of Tata Technologies.
So, Mr. Harris, what is the completion timeline that you're looking for from this acquisition? And will this be EPS accretive from day one itself?
We received approval from our board on Saturday evening, early Saturday evening. We made the announcement to the stock exchange late on Saturday night, and we expect regulatory approval to be achieved within within a 2-month time frame. And certainly, yes, it will be margin accretive and EPS accretive from day one.
Currently, Mr. Harris, with this acquisition, you are mentioning that you will get access to Volkswagen as well as being able to use that for a joint venture with BMW as well. But with the technology that we'll get from this particular acquisitions, you can also expand the scope as well as deepen your penetration with these two clients. Could you talk to us what will be, if any, cross-selling opportunities that you can get as well as increasing business via this particular acquisition?
Yeah, the decision to purchase ES-Tec was driven not just by what they do today, but also, again, the platform that they will represent into the German market, and in terms of cross-selling their capabilities into the Tata Technologies global client portfolio. As far as VW, Mercedes, and BMW are concerned, we are very keen to use the relationships of ES-Tec to sell the broader portfolio of Tata Technologies, and particularly as far as ADAS is concerned, which is the real depth of capabilities that ES-Tec will bring. We see that there's opportunities within our anchor accounts. We see that there's opportunities within the global customers that Tata Technologies are currently supporting today.
So, Mr. Harris, is it fair to say that earlier this was via ADAS, it was an opportunity that you couldn't address, and now with the technology that you will get via these acquisitions, you can spread that throughout your current clientele that you service as well as the future ones that might come in?
Yeah. I think if you look at the product development V curve that defines embedded electronics and software in automotive, we played very much at the software development level, but ES-Tec provide capabilities in and around systems architecture, functional requirements, and test and validation, and not just test and validation of software, but also on-vehicle testing. And so we think that this is a great complement to the capabilities that we've been cultivating within Tata Technologies.
Mr. Harris, do you feel that with what's happening currently in terms of growth opportunities within Europe as well, uh, companies like yourself, as you mentioned, you were largely in software-defined vehicles as well as integrating the software so that the functionality of the car works perfectly. Do you think that such acquisitions will be a norm for the future, essentially, with getting into specific product applications that can help you increase your current business as well? And will that be the approach for Tata Tech as well as the industry? Is that your current estimate?
Yeah, well, I think if you look at the global ER&D space, it's about $2 trillion. I think the addressable space for organizations like ourselves is about $200 billion. But no one organization has more than 2 or 3% of that market, and so the market itself is incredibly fragmented. And so clearly, I think that the market is likely to consolidate going forward. And I think organizations like ourselves that have strong financials and have a very strong balance sheet will have the opportunity to lead that consolidation. And so we are very committed to growing our organization organically, but we are also equally committed to identifying target assets that can accelerate our progress strategically. And as I said before, both in terms of capability and in terms of market access.
Mr. Harris, when we last actually spoke to you post quarter one, you did mention that there was some challenge that we saw of growth essentially in Europe, and it's a commentary that's consistent with what we've seen with the other players as well. So it's not a company-specific factor. What have you seen currently over the last few weeks, to say the least, post quarter one? Do you expect that there has been largely consistency with what we've seen in quarter one as well? And what would be some of the key triggers that we'll be watching out for in H2, which could lead to a positive momentum, at least if not in this year, in FY27?
I think when we talked last, I commented that we had expected things to improve at the beginning of the fiscal year, and then of course the tariff announcements further complicated the headwinds that we were grappling with last year. I think now that some form of clarity has been interjected, particularly into the trade deals between the UK and Europe, I think most of our customers are getting used now or getting ready for the new normal, and they're adjusting their product plans, and they're starting to prepare for the decisions that will drive the market going forward. So, we expect things to start to taper upwards in the next couple of months. We are expecting a relatively strong second half to the fiscal year, and we expect that momentum to continue in the next fiscal year. The automotive business specifically is a product-led business, and I think because of the distractions of the U.S. election last year, because of the uncertainty in terms of the regulatory framework, and also because of the competition that's been coming in from China, many of our customers have been recalibrating their plans, and we've seen that impact demand. But we are now convinced, based upon the conversations that we're having with many of our strategic customers, that period of indecision is now starting to come to an end, and we're starting to see investment in new products. And that all goes very well, not just for Tata Technologies, but for the overall market.
Mr. Harris, just one final question from my side. Over the weekend, I did see a lot of key interesting aspects from the Munich Auto Show, actually, and saw that the advent of Chinese EVs and what they've done essentially in this particular time frame has been one of the key notables. But we also saw some from the German players as well. Any kind of aspects or commentary that you saw, what impressed you? Because we have seen that the advent of Chinese EVs in Europe has been one of the key aspects, and that was a growth opportunity for many players like yourselves. Is there anything that you can give us perspective, that if there's anything that you caught up on this over the weekend?
Yeah, I was at Munich last week before I came here for the board meeting on Saturday, and I spent time with VW and BMW. And a number of other players. What was notable for me at this year's show, unlike a couple of years ago, was that the Chinese players were not as visible as they were 2 years ago. And the sentiment from the European OEMs was far more positive than I expected. There were statements by Oliver Bloom, the chief executive of VW, and he made a number of product decisions or product announcements that signaled VW's intent. BMW rolled out the Neue Klasse platform and the first vehicle that they are going to launch on that new electric platform. And so, again, the sentiment was far more bullish than we anticipated, and I think it augurs well for those organizations like ourselves that are partnering with those companies.